Hey, and welcome to another Lightroom Newbie edit with your host, me. And today we're going to be editing this pretty cool long exposure of a starry night sky with a couch, a lone couch, sitting in the middle of this road. And this photo was by Reddit user EyezikMichael on, again, Edit My Raw. Because I can't take enough decent photos myself, so I steal other people's photos. I say steal, I use other people's photos to edit and practice my editing techniques, if you'll call them that. So, and this was kind of the end goal that I had in mind. I went ahead and edited it before recording just to kind of get an idea of what I want it to turn out like. And I kind of like the way it turned out here, so that is what we will be shooting for in the end of this video. So to get started, every night video, I like to have a little bit more blues right off the bat. I usually know the white balance kind of goes more on the yellow side, which I'm not a huge fan of. So just to start off, we'll kind of cool it down a bit, not too much. And it's a little bit overexposed for my taste. So let's pull that down too a little bit as well. And we're going to brighten some areas up as we go down the road here, so don't fret if it's looking a little bit too dark. And before I forget, let's change the composition here. Actually, the composition is fine the way it is, to be honest, just for my taste. I just kind of want the couch more in this quadrant. What's that called? The rule of thirds. I'm probably breaking that rule anyways. I think the rule of thirds would have to have it more right here, right? Well, too bad. I want it right here. Cool. That's a great little spot for couch. Okay, I'm not going to mess with contrast. Highlights and whites. You know what? Let's pull the whites down. And boost the highlights just a bit to kind of get that glow over the horizon. Shadows. Let's pull the shadows up just a tad. Blacks. I think blacks are alright. Well, let's see. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, it was fine. Alright, clarity. The fun stuff. Let's pull clarity up just a bit. We don't want to add too much, because see, the more clarity you add, the more grain it gets in there, but it's not like we're printing this out on paper or anything, so it won't be super noticeable. Vibrance, just a tad. I don't want to go overboard with it. And we're going to leave saturation alone. Tone curve, I never know what I'm doing with the tone curve. So I just play with each one of these until something comes out looking nifty. So the subtle highlights, we'll kind of boost that a little bit more. I kind of like the end goal is to give like a contrast of like super dark skies kind of leading into this glow of the city. So I'm not trying to blow out the glow, so let's just kind of do a little bit more highlights. Lights, yeah, we can tone those down just a bit. It's mainly affecting the sky from the looks of it. So, and what I'm kind of going for is like this gradient look. Darks. Let's pull those up just a tad, and shadows down just a bit. It seems to be affecting this down here. I had no rhyme or rhythm to what I just did there. I was literally just messing. Look at that. Look, the curve is almost the exact same as before. I pretty much did nothing. Let's see. Yeah, there's like almost no difference there. See, that's why you shouldn't follow my advice. Anyways, let's go down to saturation, luminance, hue. Saturation, I kind of want to see a little bit more orange. Not too much more because it's affecting this down here. And a little bit more, ooh, not that. A little bit more blue. Actually, I want to pull down the blues just a bit. I don't want like this oversaturated looking sky. So let's just pull down the blues a little bit. And yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. That's all I want to do there. Actually, let's see what happens if we do luminance. Yeah, I kind of like it the blues just a little bit lower. That looks good. Okay, good enough for me. Alright, split toning. The fun stuff. The highlights, let's add a little purple in there. Not too much, but just like a little purple glow. I say not too much, but I kind of like that, even though it's like way purpley on this side. But what we'll do is add a gradient filter in a second and kind of darken the sky a bit so the whole sky isn't purple. So for now, we'll leave that. Shadows, I don't really want to mess with the shadow colors, so we'll leave that alone. Okay, detail. Let's kind of get a different, like some of the mountains, some of the sky. There's a good spot for that right here. Let's go for a little bit sharper look while reducing a little bit of the noise. What is it like? There's some ratio some famous Lightroom guru uses, like 70-30 for most images. I don't know. We'll go with that. That looks pretty cool. What does it look like without it? Kind of added a little bit of... There's kind of like these blotches without it, so whenever we kind of sharpen the image up and remove some of those, some of that noise, it looks a little better, in my opinion. Cool. Alright. Lens correction. Remove chromatic aberration is already enabled. It's whatever. I usually don't mess with this unless it's like super distorted looking. I'm probably committing some kind of I don't know. Anyways, vignetting. That's always a good thing. Just add a tad bit. Just kind of focus the eye, in the middle of the screen here. Okay, camera calibration. Let's see. Let's add a little bit more purple to it. It's looking good. Changing the reds up a little bit to look. I don't know. I kind of like the way that's looking. No, I don't want to saturate it too much. Greens. Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this image, guys? I don't know. I just play with sliders until something looks good. Alright, blues. Ooh, I don't know if I like any of this. I don't know. Looking a little weird. Okay. Let's get into the filters. Alright, let's spice the sky up a bit. All I want to do is darken it a little bit more, so there's kind of like this nice fade from dark skies to glowing city lights. So what I'll do is add a little bit of dehaze, and that's all we really need. I don't want to do that. No, just let's leave that there. Yeah. Pull down the whites just a bit too, just kind of get a little bit more darker up there, and that looks good. Cool. All right, and another thing I did, which I thought kind of looked cool, is basically brightening up this road right here, just to kind of add, I don't know, a little bit more pop. Because, the road is kind of the centerpiece of this image in a sense, kind of leading into this little mountain range over here. So what I want to do is maybe reduce the feathering a bit. Take auto mask off, and we just want to color this in. You can press O to get this red mask so you know where you're doing your brushings. Alright, that looks good. Not perfect, but good enough. Alright. And all we want to do is just boost the exposure just a bit. Not the contrast. And the whites, not too much. Like I'm not trying to make it look unnatural. I just want to kind of just add a little bit of light to this. Boost the highlights just a tad. and I'll add a little bit more clarity to this, just to kind of give it a little bit more texture. Okay, cool. I think that looks all right. And what we'll do, I don't even know if it's worth it, but no. See, what I was thinking of is maybe darkening these sides a little bit more, but with this already brightened a little bit, I think that's fine. But for the couch, let's go ahead and give him a little bit more character, because he's just sitting here all alone. I think he needs a little bit of love. So, let's paint him. Let me turn auto mask on. I don't know if that's retroactive. Doesn't look like it is. And it's bleeding over a little bit, but you know, who cares? Auto mask is a little weird. Let's get this little piece. And good enough. Alright, so all I want to do is just add a little bit of, I don't know, a little pop to it. Just kind of, I thought the clarity would have done a little bit. I don't want to make it too much darker. Saturation? Saturation is doing nothing to this one. Interesting. Okay, well, we want to add saturation. Let's boost the whites just a little bit. Yeah, let's add a little bit more blue to it. Just kind of, I don't know, add something. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much the final image. I think it looks pretty similar to the one I X'd out of it. Yeah, they're pretty close. I think I added a little bit more red to this one, but you know, close enough. So you can see, really different. Kind of added this nice gradient sky. That's kind of what makes the image for me, is this, you know, the sky. So, yeah, that is my edit. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun and entertaining tutorial. Until next time.